I just watched The Long Walk, and here's my thoughts. This is probably my personal favorite movie of 2025 so far. The overall premise is simple and pretty average, but it's the story, the stuff that happens in between that makes this movie shine. Only Stephen King would be able to make walking into such a compelling narrative. Not to mention, this is based off of Stephen King's very first novel that he's ever written. Another reason why I love this movie is because it's unexpectedly emotional. I teared up twice during the film, and I was shocked that such a mediocre plot could get me so worked up like that. This movie is really about friendship and the impact that we are able to accomplish together. We get introduced to most of the characters throughout the movie, but the main ones that you really need to pay attention to is Cooper Hoffman and David Johnson. A lot of the credit of this film goes to them for making such an awesome display of friendship, as well as Francis Lawrence, who directed this movie in such a way that does the novel justice. However, there were a couple things that I thought that could have been better. Since this movie is about a bunch of kids that are just walking until they die, it's not a lot to go off of. I think it's a bit difficult to find ways to keep the story compelling early on. What I really would have liked to see though was more of the Major. He shows up at the beginning and at the end, but he doesn't really have very many spots in between. Overall, The Long Walk is the type of movie that you'll keep thinking about long after you've watched it because of how emotionally impactful it is. I'd say if you're a big fan of The Hunger Games or Shawshank Redemption, then you definitely need to check this movie out. I'd rate it a 9.7 out of 10.